Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome! Another glorious day in crypto. Actually, it's a beary day. There's a lot of bears. The bears are out. It should be winter, really. You know, winter, the bears should be actually chilling and sleeping. I don't know what they're doing.
Why are they trading? Why are they selling?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Hey, bears, you're going to get wrecked if you keep going because there's a lot of buying pressure. There's a lot of stuff happening. Speaking of which, let's tell them what's happening in the crypto world. CommBank CEO, that's the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, says that the risk of crypto is really way less than the risk of not participating at all. And I mean, the crypto space has been saying this forever. Like, yeah, there's risks in bringing on crypto, but the problem that I've seen from day one with banks is that they've built all this regulation around themselves. And for all those guys out there like, we need more regulation for banks. Well, guess what? For the last like 50, 60 years, the people writing the regulation for banks are banks. And they're writing those regulations to stop startups from competing with them so that they can run amok and do whatever the heck they want. Hence the 2008 financial crisis. These regulations, you don't want to keep doing what you're doing and expect something else to happen. But so what's happened? These banks regulated themselves up to here, and they're like, yeah, we're nice, and all to their buddy mates, like, yeah, no one can touch us now. And then like Bitcoin happened on the other side of the wall, and they're like, hey, what's that? What's that for action? I want a piece of that. And they couldn't because they'd regulated themselves into this nice, jam. And
this bank, like, seriously, the castle that banks have built is just crazy. First of all, they have all around the world the lobbyists that they are so tied up with politics that they are in a position that they can do it. But also, stopping progress, innovation on the financial sector, it's really harmful. And then you see something like Bitcoin happening on the other side that they actually can't control, and then we see innovation coming every day. Yeah, it's like no regulation. Innovation.
Yeah. Well, it's
more regulation, less innovation.
Yeah.
And you see DeFi was a new thing. Now we have already a year later DeFi 2.0.
Yeah.
Crypto was a new thing back in 2010.
Yeah.
And quickly went through so many evolutionary steps that all created innovation.
Yeah.
What happened in the banking industry? Well, we have nicer front ends we have internet banking. Well, Germany has internet banking nowadays. Wow, big success. Wow, massive innovation there. Nothing is happening for banks.
No, it's fake innovation. It's like a pretty new interface. Yeah. It's like I don't want to pick on N26 here. This is a big bank here in Europe that came out as a startup bank, and everyone's like, wow, this is an amazing bank. And I'm just looking at it going, it's the same as everything else with a prettier interface. And they've got some clever stuff to, like, when you swipe, it automatically categorizes it for your, this is probably petrol, so it puts it in that category for your account.
But it's really the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even want to call this innovation.
No, seriously, in Australia, the Commonwealth Bank, I've been in there, and this was like maybe even 5 years ago, they were still having green and black screens, like the old school computer. Like, this is how slow they move. It's ludicrous. Yeah. But one of the things is that what he was saying is that if we're really interested in CBDCs, like that's crypto. That's not crypto, dude. Like, sorry to burst your bubble there, but it's not. You're stepping in with the devil, which you've been sleeping with for a while, so it doesn't really matter.
Well,
at least you're not cheating.
What does this even mean? They have interest in CBDCs. Like, okay, meaning CBDCs are coming, and they will eat the bank's lunch. Because
they will.
Now people will not be customers of retail banks anymore. With these CBDCs, everyone will be a direct customer of a very centralized power called a central bank. And it's just horrific. The future that banks are losing out massively, not only through crypto, but also from the new developments on the central bank sides. And then central banks are just gaining power.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, there's. Yeah, I don't know what else to say to that. That is a warning from us on the good guys' side. The rebellion, the rebellion is saying, guys, watch out! You're playing with Darth Vader. Schwartz. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Okay. Good. Other news.
Hey, that's from Spaceballs, man. Like, you know.
Wait, those Spaceballs. Where are we going here? Okay. That's the topic. Next one.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Slytherin.
Celsius, another massive hack.
Yeah.
People lose money in that space.
Crypto Potato.
A very credible news source.
Very credible. This is why I love this space, because the most credible news source in the space is called Crypto Potato. Reports that there was a huge hack. The hackers stole $120 million worth of from the BadgerDAO. And the BadgerDAO, for those that don't know, is like a decentralized autonomous organization that allows users to put Bitcoin to work in the DeFi space. Now, we're allowing that with the standard as well. People can use use Bitcoin to collateralize their debt obligations. This is the plan. Whenever you're working with smart contracts that are holding value, you're going to be having the best people in the world trying to break you. The problem I see, is that a lot of these DAOs, and I'm not saying BadgerDAOs like this, but I'm saying there's a lot of problems with DAOs where it's literally script kids going, they don't know how to really code. All they're doing is going, okay, there's a library for this and there's a library for that. Let's attach those libraries and let's release this DAO. And then all of a sudden, millions of dollars come flooding in, and some hacker in Korea or China or America or Russia just goes, oh, actually, you just stick this little bit of JavaScript in here and it takes advantage of everything. Now, what happened in this particular case is that they were able to inject some JavaScript into the front end. So they didn't even hack the smart contract. They hacked into the front end that was facing the smart contract. So if you were clever enough as a user to not deal with the front end at all and talk directly to the smart contract, which is possible, and this is the whole thing with DeFi, you have these smart contracts, but generally there's one front end. Like with the standard DAO, what we're building at the standard.io will be the front end, but anybody could write a front end that interacts with the smart contracts we're writing. And the thing is, so everyone goes to BadgerDAO's front end and got basically hijacked with some script that someone was able to inject.
Yeah, I mean, these hacks are very scary.
Yeah.
But it's not particular the crypto community that suffers from hacks. You can see hacks also happening in the old financial world, and this every day.
Every day.
And what I'm talking about are credit card hacks.
Yeah.
And credit cards info gets stolen every day.
Yeah.
And this in the millions every day.
Yep.
And you know what gets reported and what creates then a little bit bearish downtrend? It's the crypto hacks. I mean, yeah, they happen. It's a new industry and it's important to report them. But don't let the crypto community and the crypto protocols look that bad, because in all honesty, these hacks are horrific, but they are also happening in the old world.
Banks get hacked all the time. They just never talk about it.
Yeah.
Zero talking. Yeah, they bury it.
Yeah. So it's important to report them, but let's keep in mind that our best way is auditing, like the best way to conquer it is to do proper smart contract audits, to have various testings before launching any protocol, any platform, to really test what people actually developed before going live and putting millions of dollars worth of assets inside a smart contract.
The thing is, like, where we differ from a lot of these sort of out of the blue DAOs that are popping up is that we're an established team. We have run an exchange that was launched in 2015, built over 2014, has never been hacked in that entire time. And it's not through lack of trying. People are attacking us day in, day out, all the time. Yeah. It's just that we have an amazing team really working hard and understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're not just people that learned to code yesterday and throw something out. We have an amazing team that I'm really, really proud of, and we are putting that team to work on the standard. Because this is what it's like. The reason why I built Vaultoro in the first back in the day was after the Mt. Gox hack. It was like, I've had enough of this. This space is so revolutionary, it can change the world. But the problem was all these big exchanges were just getting hacked or running off with people's money, and in the news, they didn't quite get Bitcoin yet at that stage. They were saying like, oh, the CEO of Bitcoin ran off with everyone's money, because they didn't understand that Mark Karpelès. Yeah.
The CEO of Bitcoin.
Yeah, they would say that.
Good
I was like, man, everyone's giving us a bad name. So this is why we
KO.
And I think we're seeing this in the smart contract space, that we need to disrupt this space and build something properly.
Well said.
Yeah.
You know what? A funny story. So, you remember the time I went to Amsterdam for a crypto convention, and then I met a lot of people.
Where's this story going? Amsterdam. When you start a story with, remember the time I went to Amsterdam?
Yeah, okay, it's not one of those stories. But anyhow, so I went to Amsterdam and I met a lot of development firms that also do smart contract auditing. And one of them said something really funny, and I'm still laughing about it today.
Yeah.
But it's actually scary. So they said to me, you know what the main business model of these like smart auditing firms is? I was like, yeah, I believe smart contract auditing, no? And they're like, no, it's praying. It's praying. Because they what they do, like a lot of, there's in every industries where light is also shadow. So there's also a lot of companies that do smart contract auditing, but actually what they do, they look at the code once, and then they see, looks pretty okay. Let's sign a certificate and hand it out and sell it for 100K, and here's your smart contract audit, and now we start praying.
Yeah, but come on, like we're using Zukio Labs to audit the contracts. We'll be using them, and these guys invented smart contract auditing.
Yeah.
Hartej, he literally, when Ethereum launched, he was the very first to start auditing smart contracts. So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And this is also why it's important not just to go with some rando company that's like, we're a smart contract auditing company. Well, no, you're not. You're some kid sitting at home at your grandma's basement looking through code, and you don't have a clue what you're doing. Yeah. Sorry, kid at home in your grandma's basement. You're trying. Well done.
Right.
But
yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, there's a lot of firms that do a really good job, but yeah, guys, if you're developing a protocol, look out for the black sheep. Get some opinions up front from people that have worked with them, and then you will understand if they're good or bad.
Yeah, and you need to pay for quality in this stuff. Pay for quality coders and programmers, because these developers, these engineers, they're not easy to find. Good engineers are extremely hard to find. And there's a reason for that, because if they're good, they're already taken, or they're working on their own project.
Yeah.
So it's just one of these things. I think also MetaMask and all of these sort of wallets need time to figure out the attack vectors, because they're the sort of the gates as well, protecting people's money. But again, one of the best things you can do is have a hardware wallet, sign some keys using MetaMask, but don't keep loads of money in MetaMask.
Yeah. Cool. Next story. El Salvador president schools Peter Schiff on buying the Bitcoin dips.
I'm actually starting to really like the president of El Salvador. I mean, okay, here we go. So Peter Schiff writes, there's a lot more. I have to take my paper here. Peter Schiff writes, there's a lot more dips coming. How much taxpayer money do you intend to waste? And then Nayib says, he's the president there, says, none. We're already in the green from our last purchase in less than 24 hours. You know, boomer, says to Peter Schiff, we have 44,106 ounces of gold in our reserves, worth $79 million, down 0.37 from a year ago. If we had sold that a year ago and bought Bitcoin, it would be now valued at $204 million. And then Peter Schiff says, well, you're in the green now, but let's see in the long term if it lasts. Plus, you're still in the red on the Bitcoin you bought in the last dip. You're making a huge bet using people's money. It's not likely to end well for them or you. Now, this is a really interesting conversation because a lot of people are like, oh, why are you holding gold? It's like gone, it's pretty much stable. And if you bought a Bitcoin a year ago, you'd be up like X%. And yes, that's true. But gold isn't there to make you rich. It's not there. Like Bitcoin right now is in a price discovery phase, has been since 2009. People are trying to figure it out. But it's not, what gold is there for is to protect the wealth that you've made, to take profits off the table. Because we don't know what will happen to the internet. Look, if you would have told me back 5 years ago that the President of the United States is going to be thrown off of Twitter, if you would have told me that Google algorithmically censors anyone talking about any sort of natural therapy for some sort of virus, if like globally the amount of censorship that's happened, so we don't know the fragility of the internet. There's a few full-on sea cables that need to be cut. Like anything can happen. And look, I'm the last one I will continue to defend Bitcoin as an amazing currency. It is the future, definitely. But it's not totally secure. There are still black swan events. So I want to, gold is a fantastic way to say, hey, I've made a whole bunch of money. This is something I can hold. That's my property, it's in my name, it's fully insured, fully audited, and it's sitting there as a block of metal. Bitcoin, it's fantastic, it's going up, it's going down, it's doing its thing, but you really want to have that. And I think what's most important for a country is to have diversification across that when it comes to backing your own economy.
Definitely, and not only for a country, actually diversification is key. Yeah. And if you hold a very volatile asset, you want to have a rather stable asset as well. So I think El Salvador is taking a broad move here, I must say. But I think for me it feels like the right move. Solely for that reason is, where would you go? Like if you would be in a country, and what would be your reserve? Where would you go in cash, in US dollar cash, and get inflationary just printed away? Or are you going into something that you can put into a vaulting facility that is actually pretty stable and will most likely not produce any yield, not go up? Or do you go in something innovative that is, if you look on the long term, has like a almost exponential growth to its price? My answer to this is actually both. Do something that keeps value, but also take part in take part in the investment wealth of innovative assets, on assets that have really performed not on the short-term volatility, ups and downs, but also over 10 years. And if you look at that trend, then Bitcoin is a really good investment option without giving here investment advice.
Yeah, I mean, the important thing is anything that's super volatile and scary, you want to try and stay away from if you're older, because if you're young, that's when, this is also not advice, educational only. If you're younger, these things are good to invest in, because if you lose everything, you've still got time to re-earn and try something different. If you're older, you don't want to don't want to sell the farm and put it all into Bitcoin if you're, 70, because, hey, you don't have time to re-earn all of it.
But you know what is scary a little bit here? I mean, the El Salvadorian president will now be facing, every time a dip happens, comments like from Peter Schiff, but also from his opposition. So for political leaders, taking really the move, this broad move, and going into crypto with state funds exposes them to a risk. And I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of countries in the world will not have direct involvement in the crypto space, although they want to, because the politicians taking this decision will suffer from every dip, massively because they will be criticized and they're going to be haunted until the price goes up again.
Yeah, and as more and more countries onboard into Bitcoin, this is another reason we have to stay away from centralized stablecoins, because through these centralized stablecoins like USDC, like Tether, like the Binance version, they have the ability to control the mechanism. So if someone wants to take down the countries that have accepted Bitcoin and try to make an example of them, they need to co-opt just them.
Yeah.
Because they can control the market. The amount of volume that goes through Tether is so insanely huge that it's definitely market controlling volume. So that you've got to be careful as a new country coming in because there will be manipulation on that front, whoever controls those entities. So this is why, again, what we're building at the standard.io is really important for the entire space. We want people to be able to generate stable coins that are provably backed by assets like gold, Peter, like Bitcoin, Nayib.
Okay. Cool. Great. On that front, I think there's no other crypto news that we would like to discuss.
No.
If you like this channel, if you like to see us and talk about crypto news, get updates about the standard, please hit that subscribe button, hit that ring bell button, join our Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord, guys. It's going off. We're tipping like crazy. There's airdrops going on all the time. People are talking, you're getting some hot tips in there as well. Like there's some really great chatter about certain NFT projects. There's great chatter about crypto in general, about why certain price targets are good and not. So get in there and take part, be part of it.
Yeah, we will also host regular AMAs on our Discord, so there will be a lot of interaction with our community. What we are building is a DAO, and the Discord is where it's happening at the moment. So we are really looking forward to seeing you in our channels.
Yep.
And yeah, stay tuned. Cheers.
Ciao.